In 1980, Steve McQueen's motorcycle collection stunned the automotive world. Not because of its size, but because each machine told a story of racing heritage, engineering innovation, and a Hollywood icon's passion for two-wheeled perfection.
You know, for me, motorcycles are still my first love.
While other stars collected exotic cars, McQueen hunted down motorcycles that most people had only seen in history books. These weren't garage queens either. Each one earned its place in his collection through its unique story and historical significance. Today, we're taking you inside 6 of the rarest motorcycles from McQueen's legendary collection. From pre-war masterpieces to racing legends, these machines represent the pinnacle of motorcycle engineering and design. When you think about vintage motorcycles, few machines capture the essence of American engineering quite like this one. Steve McQueen's 1929 Harley-Davidson DL wasn't just another bike in his collection. It represented a pivotal moment in motorcycle history, arriving just before the Great Depression would reshape the industry forever. The DL model stood apart from its contemporaries, boasting a 45 cubic inch, 750cc flathead engine that revolutionized Harley's lineup. This particular machine caught McQueen's eye at a small motorcycle shop in the San Fernando Valley back in 1971. The bike's previous owner had preserved it meticulously, keeping all its original components intact, from the hand-tooled leather saddle to the distinctive olive green paint that marked early Harley-Davidson motorcycles. What truly sets this DL apart is its improved lubrication system. In 1929, Harley-Davidson introduced a more advanced recirculating oil system, moving away from the earlier total loss design to enhance engine reliability and efficiency. McQueen's DL still features this breakthrough technology in working condition, making it one of the few surviving examples with its original lubrication system intact. The story goes that McQueen spent countless hours personally restoring this motorcycle, focusing particularly on preserving its original mechanical specifications. He discovered factory markings under layers of old paint that confirmed this was one of the first 100 DLs produced that year. The bike's frame number indicates it rolled off the Milwaukee assembly line in early March 1929, just months before the stock market crash. The motorcycle's distinctive features include the rare factory optional brake light system, something most motorcycles of that era didn't have. Its original messenger solo seat, optional on the DL model, shows the kind of attention to detail Harley-Davidson was pursuing even in those early years. McQueen often mentioned that starting this bike required a special touch, a precise combination of timing, throttle, and what he called mechanical sympathy that connected rider and machine. The distinctive sound of a 1912 Harley-Davidson X8E remains a topic of admiration among motorcycle historians. McQueen's X8E wasn't just any early Harley. It represented a significant step in the brand's evolution. While it retained the traditional leather belt drive, it was one of the models that helped lay the groundwork for Harley-Davidson's eventual transition to a more durable chain drive system in later years. When McQueen discovered this X8E in 1977, it was tucked away in a Pennsylvania barn, covered in decades of dust, but remarkably complete. The previous owner's father had purchased it new in 1912, and documentation showed it had been stored since 1933. What caught McQueen's attention wasn't just its rarity, it was the bike's original magneto ignition system, which distinguished it from Harley-Davidson's battery-equipped models of the same era. The 60 cubic inch, 1000cc V-twin engine was Harley-Davidson's most powerful offering in 1912, producing approximately 8 horsepower, an impressive figure for the time. This particular machine still retains its original Bosch magneto, making it a rare surviving example with its complete electrical system intact. During its restoration, McQueen discovered factory assembly marks that identified this as one of only 20 X8E models produced with the optional sidecar lugs. The bike's frame number revealed it was assembled during the first production run in February 1912. The original Sherwin-Williams gray paint was carefully preserved under layers of later additions, showing the authentic color these motorcycles wore when they left the factory. What fascinated McQueen most about this X8E was its connection to early American racing. While definitive proof is scarce, the reinforced frame and special ordering details suggest it may have been built with competition in mind. The mechanical brake system, considered advanced for its time, featured a compensating sprocket that helped maintain belt tension, a design that would later influence chain-driven motorcycles in the years to come. This iconic Indian racing design remains one of the most successful, and McQueen's 1920 Powerplus Daytona is among the most original surviving examples. The machine's history traces back to the famous Daytona beach races, where Indian motorcycles dominated the competition throughout the early 1920s. The Powerplus derived its name from its 61 cubic inch, 1000cc side valve engine, which was a significant advancement in Indian's lineup. Known for its durability and smooth power delivery, it provided competitive performance for its era and helped establish Indian's dominance in early motorcycle racing. McQueen's particular machine features the rare factory racing components, including the specialized racing magneto and the competition camshaft that Indian only offered to their sponsored riders. When McQueen acquired this bike in 1973, it came with a treasure trove of original documentation, including race timing sheets from Daytona Beach dating back to 1920. The previous owner, a former Indian factory mechanic, had maintained detailed service records since 1935. These records revealed fascinating details about the bike's racing career, including modifications made specifically for beach racing. The special sand racing tires, still with the bike when McQueen found it, were wrapped in their original oiled paper storage packaging. The Powerplus Daytona showcases unique engineering features that set it apart from standard Indian motorcycles of the period. The frame geometry was specifically altered for high-speed stability on the beach, and the oil pump was modified to handle the extreme conditions of racing. The distinctive red paint, still original in some hidden areas, matches the exact shade Indian used for their factory racing team machines. What really fascinated McQueen about this motorcycle was its connection to Indian's racing legend, Shrimp Burns, who reportedly rode this very machine during practice sessions at Daytona. The toolkit, still contained in its original leather pouch, includes several specialized tools marked with the Indian Racing Department's distinctive stamps, confirming its factory racing pedigree. The relationship between Steve McQueen and this 1914 Indian Model F goes deeper than just collecting. It represents a unique piece of both military and personal history. This motorcycle combines the story of American wartime engineering with the artistic touch of one of custom culture's most legendary figures, Von Dutch himself. When McQueen stumbled upon this 1914 Indian Model F in 1968, it was little more than a collection of parts stored in wooden crates. However, its military serial numbers and original documentation hinted at a fascinating history. While Indian motorcycles were used by the US military before World War I, large-scale military procurement didn't begin until the US entered the war in 1917. The original Army green paint remained visible beneath layers of later civilian repainting, and the accompanying leather pouches bore 1914 manufacturing stamps, adding to its historical significance. Oh, and real quick, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. Thanks. The 500cc twin-cylinder engine represents Indian's early engineering prowess, featuring the company's innovative leaf spring front fork system that provided superior handling compared to its competitors. What makes this Model F particularly special is its original acetylene lighting system, a rare survival from an era when electric lights were still a luxury option. The restoration story adds another layer of fascination to this motorcycle. Kenny Howard, better known as Von Dutch, spent nearly 8 months bringing this Indian back to life. His distinctive pinstriping details, hidden in subtle places around the bike, carry a signature style while respecting the machine's military heritage. During the restoration, they discovered the original military dispatch papers tucked inside the toolbox, detailing this motorcycle's service history from Fort Hood to the European theater. The bike still retains its unique military modifications, including reinforced wheel spokes and a special low gear ratio designed for rough terrain operations. The iconic silhouette of the 1940 Indian Chief represents American motorcycling at its finest, and McQueen's example stands as one of the most meticulously preserved specimens from this golden era. Not to be confused with the 1940 Indian 4 he also owned, this Chief carries a fascinating history. It was originally purchased by the Los Angeles Police Department, serving in their motorcycle division before finding its way into private hands. The thundering 74 cubic inch 1200cc V-twin engine, with its distinctive skirted fenders and streamlined design, embodied Indian's philosophy of combining raw power with artistic beauty. McQueen's Chief boasts the rare police special package, which included a higher compression ratio, special gearing, and reinforced frame components that set it apart from civilian models. The original odometer, still functioning perfectly, shows just over 50,000 miles of service. It's believed that the previous owner, a speed enthusiast, had attempted a land speed record at Bonneville Salt Flats before retiring the bike to regular street use. McQueen was particularly proud of this detail, often sharing the story of how the Chief had once reached 118 miles per hour on the Salt Flats, an impressive feat for a machine of its era. The Chief retains its police-specific equipment, including the rare beehive taillight, specialized front brake system, and the distinctive red and blue bubble siren. The leather saddlebags still carry their LAPD property stamps, and the original police radio mounting brackets remain intact. During their restoration, McQueen insisted on preserving these historical elements rather than converting the bike to civilian specification. The mechanical condition of this Chief speaks volumes about Indian's engineering prowess. The original matching numbers engine has never been apart, still running on its factory tolerances. The unique 4-speed transmission, introduced in 1940, features Indian's advanced foot shift mechanism, a revolutionary design that influenced motorcycle development for decades to come. Even the original Dunlop tires, though no longer used for riding, were preserved by McQueen as a testament to the bike's authenticity. This motorcycle was sold at auction in Las Vegas in 1984. The story of McQueen's 1923 Ace 4 is a tale of American innovation and determination. When the motorcycle industry was dominated by twins and singles, William Henderson's Ace Motor Corporation dared to be different, creating what many consider the Rolls-Royce of early motorcycles. McQueen's example represents one of the finest surviving Ace motorcycles, featuring the legendary inline 4-cylinder engine that would later influence Indian's 4. The 1229cc power plant, with its distinctive exposed valve train and hand-oiled rocker system, was years ahead of its time. McQueen discovered this Ace in pieces, scattered across 3 different collections in Pennsylvania. The engine number revealed something extraordinary. This was one of the last Ace motorcycles built before the company's assets were sold to Indian. The original build sheet, found tucked inside the frame tubing during restoration, showed it was assembled just 2 weeks before the factory closed. What truly sets this Ace apart is its competition history. Hidden beneath layers of road grime, McQueen's restoration team discovered special factory racing modifications, lightweight pistons, high compression cylinder heads, and a rare racing magneto that only factory-backed racers received. Period photographs later confirmed this machine's presence at board track races throughout the Northeast in 1923 and 1924. The bike's technical specifications were remarkable for their era. A 4-speed transmission when most motorcycles had 2 or 3 speeds, a proper recirculating oil system instead of total loss lubrication, and an advanced for its time front brake system. During restoration, McQueen maintained these engineering innovations exactly as they left the factory, preserving the historical significance of each component. This Ace carries another distinction. It's one of the few surviving examples with its original Schiebler racing carburetor and the rare factory-optional electric lighting system. The acetylene backup lighting system remains intact, complete with its original brass generator. McQueen often mentioned that starting this bike required a special touch, a precise ritual that connected rider with machine in a way modern motorcycles never could.